What is the worst Sonic game? Sonic Team makes new Sonic games pretty much every year, and I don't know why, because they're never good. Year after year, we met with endless disappointment. Well, except for Sonic Mania, because that game's amazing. I mean, I say this, but that's a little bit unfair because I've never actually played anything beyond Sonic Heroes. I think playing Sonic Heroes on the PlayStation 2 gave me PTSD, to be honest. I mean, let me take you back. I was an innocent 12-year-old and a massive Sonic nerd. I'd played every game. I didn't have a Nintendo, and I was understandably excited for Sonic Heroes to come out because it was on the PS2. At the time, I didn't really realise that games could be bad. I thought that it was just me that was the problem. Anyway, long story short, it was such a horrible experience that I never played another Sonic game for 15 years. That music. Never again. Anyway, what was I saying? Well, there's no wonder we really glorified the Mega Drive games, when Sonic games truly were good. Not you, Marble Zone. I really like the Master System ports as well. They were different, but they were special in their own little way. Moving into Game Gear territory, we get to some of the weirder games, and even in the peak of Sonic's 2D era, this is where we found some real flops. And no, I'm not talking about the 8-bit port of Sonic Spinball that looks like a bootleg. I'm saving that for another time. I'm talking about none other than Sonic Blast. Not to be confused with Sonic 3D Blast. Sonic Blast for the Game Gear. The Game Gear actually had a fairly impressive collection of Sonic games with 11 games in total, including 2 where Tails takes the leading role. Pre-rendered graphics like in Sonic Blast were popularised by Donkey Kong Country in 1994. Although a lot of these graphics are kind of hideous to us now. Graphics were a big deal back in the mid-90s. Things were moving really fast, and for the Game Gear, Sonic Blast actually was really impressive. And don't forget, things did look different through CRT screens. Pixels blended together rather than having this distinct kind of crunchy appearance. But let's not beat around the bush here, it looks bad. The gameplay itself is very slow as well, and Sonic takes up a lot of space on the Game Gear's absolutely tiny 160 by 144 pixel resolution. Let's just put that into perspective. The developers Aspect weren't clueless as you might think. They're also responsible for Sonic Chaos and Sonic Triple Trouble, both of which are actually quite nice and well-made games in their own right. Some of the main developers who worked on those games were, however, not present for Sonic Blast. Reviews for this game at the time were fairly negative. In an effort to get more 8-bit era games available for people to play, it was actually re-released for the 3DS Virtual Console in 2012. Then it got even more negative reviews. If anything, reviewers actually hated it even more than ever. But you know, I was once a Sonic nerd. I played almost every Sonic game going back in the day, including some extremely weird ROM hacks like Sonic 6. Maybe one day I'll be able to do some digging to find that one again. Sonic Blast may be considered one of the worst Sonic games, and undoubtedly the worst 2D game. But okay, let's give it a fair chance here. I've played through it before, and I don't remember being traumatised by it, so maybe people are just overreacting. It can't be that bad, right? But first, if you think you'll like listening to a British guy talking about video games and other nerd shit, don't forget to subscribe. Most of my viewers aren't subscribed. If I can just get to 500 subscribers, I can finally start making community posts that nobody cares about, as well as just making videos nobody cares about. A lot of old games like Sonic Blast are now available to play online in your browser. No emulator needed. I'll put a link to archive.org in the description if for some reason you wanted to also experience Sonic Blast. So I've talked enough bollocks now. Suppose I actually have to play the game. Starting out, we can play as either Sonic or Knuckles. In general, the movement is slow. In particular, Sonic's acceleration is extremely slow, but this is probably intentional because you just can't see where you're going. Weirdly, in this game, Sonic actually has a double jump as well. The original concept for Sonic games was that the better you got at the games, the faster you could run through the stages. But in this game, speed is just the enemy. You can barely see further than the end of Sonic's weirdly elongated nose. Let me take you through each zone and tell you about them. The first level is Green Hill Zone for about the 5,000th time. Look! What is this, an eBay listing? There's some obvious influence from the Mega Drive games. Coconut's the monkey from Sonic 2. There's little spiky, spiny bridge things from Sonic 1. Honestly, Green Hill Zone just passes by with nothing to really say about it. The boss throws a boomerang at you. It's mildly challenging until you work out you have to time your jumps. The second zone is Yellow Desert. What is the point of this spring? It looks like you should be able to do something cool, but instead Sonic just slowly loses momentum and falls down. Near the end of Act 2, there's these weird crater things that shoot you around. This is actually how you access the special stage. Pick a hole, jump in it, and hope for the best. Special stages are accessed by these hidden rings in levels. Once you find one, you'll be tasked with collecting some rings. If the special stage is accessed via Act 1, then we win a life. If it's accessed via Act 2, then we win an emerald. The special stages are really nothing special at all. A pseudo 3D environment that you run through. Nothing gets a shadow. It's really hard to tell where the rings are positioned, and it's hard to tell if you've even collected a ring or not. I'd also like to take a moment to talk about the camera. It is usual to have some sort of area in which the player can move about in without the camera moving. But here, Sonic is totally fixed in place. Even one pixel of movement will move the camera. Okay, the screen isn't very big, so it's not a super weird choice. But what is a weird choice is how close to the bottom of the screen he is. If you are falling, you absolutely can't see where you're going to land. You can't see if there's any enemies or anything. Zone 3, Red Volcano, shows how much of an issue this is. There's nothing like blindly jumping and landing in lava because you have no idea where you're going to land. There are some rings to guide you, but you usually see them too late, and Sonic's sluggish acceleration means once you've committed to a jump, it's not even worth trying to stop. Also check out how slowly Sonic runs through these loops. Well, when he can run through the loops at all anyway. This is actually where the levels start to get a little bit hard because there's obstacles plonked in the way everywhere you go. You can barely even run forward without about 4 things trying to kill you. You know what's strange about the rings in this game? When you get hit, instead of your entire ring supply scattering everywhere, you lose a few rings and your count is reduced by 10. Which of course I'm very thankful for with how much I'm getting completely destroyed in this zone. The boss in this zone is actually hard. Sonic jumps onto this weird platform thing, and then Robotnik pogos up into the air and punches you with a mechanical boxing glove. The timing in this is really weird. I double jump over the boxing glove to avoid it and land a hit, then have to quickly jump away or else I'll be hit. But I kept messing up and I'd end up underneath Robotnik with no choice but to take a hit because the blue blur can't run fast enough to get out of the way. And then my rings would just be scattered into the abyss below, never to be seen again, no opportunity to get them. Sonic Blast does actually try to add a few extra mechanics to the game, to its credit. In Red Volcano we meet these bellows which we can use to traverse lava. There's also this lava waterfall with blocks that pop in and out occasionally, which allows you to access the special stage. The next zone is Blue Marine Zone, and this is where Sonic Blast really takes a turn for the worst. This zone truly is some next level awful. It's almost entirely underwater, and the very moment Sonic so much as sets one foot into the water, his speed goes from snail-like to slug-like. This level isn't full of water, it's full of treacle. Blue Marine largely consists of a weird, confusing network of pipes and water currents, so it's essentially just solving a maze. I was actually fooled into thinking Sonic could breathe underwater, you know, like in that Labyrinth Zone boss on the Master System version of Sonic 1. And then I drowned 4 minutes into the level. And it turns out for some reason travelling through the pipes refills your air supply. You know what is cool though? If you hit this button at the top of the level, all the water drains away, which is how you access the special stage. If you try to access it underwater, you just get stuck in a current which tauntingly circles you around. No matter how cool that moment may be though, this zone is absolutely bloody awful. It's just an annoying maze of pipes. Pick a pipe. Maybe it'll take you where you need to be. Maybe it'll take you back in a loop. Maybe it'll dump you on an unavoidable crab, which will hurt you and take all your rings. Who knows? It took me 10 minutes to get to the end of Act 2, and I was miserable the entire time. From this stupid precise platforming where you can't see where you're landing, to getting dumped onto this octopus and dying. This was horrible. Some kind soul has actually ripped all the maps for this game, so we can truly see what an absolute monstrosity this level is. You just head deeper and deeper underwater the whole time. I'll tell you one advantage of this zone though. In Act 3 you actually start out of the water, and compared to being underwater, it suddenly feels like Sonic is travelling at warp speed. Fifth and final zone, Silver Castle, seems like it takes some influence from Sonic 3's Death Egg Zone. I kind of like that. This is another awful maze level. It's thankfully not underwater though, but it replaces the pipe maze with a teleporter maze, which is also quite poor. Pick a teleporter. Everywhere looks exactly the same, so you'll never remember which route you need to take. Act 2 is actually much more linear, but much worse. The entire difficulty of this seems to come from not being able to see in front of you. You just can't prepare. I mean, let me show you how the start of this act went. Yeah, I managed to blunder through though. The final boss, you end up on this wheel and have to move a bumper about by running. Robotnik will shoot lasers and you have to get them to rebound back towards him. I actually did like this boss, it's good. So is Sonic Blast really that bad? Well, no, not really. Not like this game is buggy or broken, it's just incredibly flawed. And slogging through Blue Marine Zone has to be one of the most miserable gaming experiences imaginable. It was absolutely grueling. Please delete. This game isn't the Sonic experience we were used to at the time. It stripped away the fast-paced, rewarding gameplay, where you could speed through a stage once you learned the layout. Instead, Sonic Blast is slow and clunky, somewhat confusing and difficult to navigate. If this game were to remove Sonic, and Blue Marine Zone, put in a new character, and make the game more about exploration and hunting down hidden items and secrets, it could have some potential. But we didn't get that. Even the music isn't that great. So yes, I'm willing to say Sonic Blast is probably the worst Sonic game of his 2D era. Anyway, now to play through the entire game again with Knuckles and get all the Chaos Emeralds.